and say hello. What's up, guys? ESL Go4LoL Cup number 87. We're into the third round of the competition, and we already met with a bunch of technical difficulties, teams not being able to join games, delays on games, games just really being difficult to organize. Regardless, we have brought you a match. We will be seeing an all-German affair this time around. Crew 2K will be facing... No, sorry, I'm lying to you. It's Team Completely Legendary EV2K. So that's the full name. They're going to be facing off against no team play. So expect lots of solo dives. Already into the champion select. So let's pull that up and have a look. Bans, Shen Morgana, Ari Lee Sin. That is a picture-perfect copy of the previous bans. So we'll have to see what these next two are going to be. Wearing the blue trunks on the left is our Completely Evo 2K. There's just so many words. I'll pull up the official team name in a second. And Sabi on the right-hand side for Team NTP, or no team play. That's the person that invited me to the match. So thank you, Sabi. You saved my round 3. The remaining two bans are now Olaf and Warwick. So once again, seeing those AP mids and the sort of jungler top lane tanky DPS champions being removed. Nobody likes facing a Shen. The split pushing power is just immense. And when he uses that Stand United, he's instantaneously into a big team fight. So first pick, 20 seconds left on the clock, and Mendros from Crew 2K are going to have to decide who they want to lock in. Very bravely picking a Pantheon so far. Pantheon can jungle, and he can also play the top lane. Switching to Flash Ignite, so this might be a Pantheon Spartan in the jungle, and I think that is going to be totally awesome. I carry that, very rude word, you can read that on stream. Looking like he wants a Heimerdinger. I'd love to see Heimerdinger. I would love to see a Heimerdinger. And sadly, Nep Furious isn't on the stream. He would have been spamming and saying hello. But, Heimerdinger's been swapped out, gone to Soraka. So we'll have to see what the locks are going to be in. There we go. Soraka and Udyr. Udyr can go top lane. Udyr can go jungle. You do tend to see him in the jungle, and he's such a powerful jungler. The man bear pig can run out of the jungle, throw on that bear stance, and run up and give you a bear pimp slap, and just locks you in place for a second. So, for the German side of Crew 2K, locking in a Tristana, so we know who their ranged AD is going to be. And of course, Tristana scales so well. The longer the game goes on, the more attack range she gets with each level she gains. And her rapid fire ability just really increases her attack damage at low levels. Because you always prioritize attack damage first, followed by attack speed. And having that built-in attack speed buff makes her incredibly powerful to deal with. So next two picks, Max Fidelity and Sabi. Having to look who they want to pick in. We've got a Kennen selected at the minute. And now it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know why. I just get a sneaking suspicion that might be an AD Kennen. We'll just have to see, because we know who the AD pick is on behalf of Crew 2K. So let's say, oh, no, I take it back. I lied. I apologize. At TechnoLink. What's up, man? I'm seeing an @QuickShot. That is my Twitter. Well, it is with a 0. QU1KSH0T. Come follow me. Say hi. Send some tweets at me. Kennen and Graves, the next lock-in for NTP. So it's going to be a Graves Soraka bot lane. And you always tend to see Graves Soraka bot lanes being slightly more passive, slightly more farm heavy, because of course Soraka doesn't really give a lot of damage or the ability to set up kills. We might see a Kassadin in this game. I really think that would be awesome. I have not seen a Kassadin in quite a long time. Fnatic got completely stomped by the Korean Kassadin from Team OP on Friday, knocking them out of the OGN Network League of Legends tournament. And I was very sad. I'm a bit of a Fnatic fanboy. So having a look at this, having a look at the chat at the moment, a couple of chats and a bit of discussion regarding Tristana. It's interesting to see how different players use and build Tristana, because you can opt to go for the likes of a a DPS build where you max your rocket jump and go for a rocket jump buster shot kill at level 6, because it is pretty good burst. You do also see some players opting to go for the explosive shot, maxing their E first, and allowing the damage of a time dot to deal the harass and the damage for them. Moving forward, you throw out the explosion shot active and then fall back and carry on farming passively. You can also see different players opting to go like rush a BF sword or rush early Dorans and max the rapid fire, giving them attack damage. The fact that they've got an Alistair in the bot lane means they've got a lot of crowd control. The headbutt pulverize in conjunction with, say, an attack damage and a slight AD boost also goes up. And another good comment, the rocket jump does, of course, reset its cooldown if you're involved in a kill or an assist, or at least reduce the cooldown. So, it allows you to deal sustained burst damage with each reduced cooldown. So in the top lane, we have an Aurelia locked in for, was it Crew 2K? I'll pull up the team screen in just a second. And very, very interestingly, Sabi or Joe for the win, opting to pick a Vladimir for their last pick. And the reason I think that's a very interesting pick is Vladimir can do well against a Kassadin. He can, of course, negate a lot of Kassadin's damage. At least use that Sanguine Pool to dodge those orbs that get tossed out by Kassadin. But I don't think Vlad beats Aurelia, so we might see a Vlad in the mid and a Kennen versus Aurelia top. And then Aurelia can really eat a Kennen alive. Her passive allows her to reduce any crowd control effects placed onto her. And, of course, Kennen stuns. That means they're less effective, they're less reduced. She's also got her dash to jump up to Kennen, stack him, stab him in the face with those blades and really put some huge hurting down. Grave Soraka going to be facing off against Tristana Alistair. So that's going to be a real kill lane. If Pantheon comes for a gank, he's going to be able to jump on somebody, smack them in the head with that shield, stun them, follow it up by an Alistair pulverize, and then the Alistair headbutt just to push them even further back. So Pantheon's really going to need to put early aggression down and use that small leap of his to pick up some kills. So we are in round number 3. This is, of course, Go4LoL. It's the 87th Cup. We're watching an all-German affair of NTP versus, it says here, completely legendary EV. And then in the short handle, it's Crew 2K. So I'm not quite certain where the translation comes in or if it's Millennium related or something. But NTP, no team play, average elo of 2,000, facing off against a completely legendary side with an average elo in and around the 1,600 bracket. One player on 1,200, but all the rest around the 1,600s. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these lanes play out, because I am very worried for the Grave Soraka. If Tristana is able to rocket jump, apply the slow, or allow Alistair to get up there, use his headbutt, his pulverize, and a buster shot, if they time it and place it correctly, they can single out a specific champion, split up Graves and Soraka, for example, and completely blow somebody up. I should also say the Tristanas that tend to max out their rocket jumps, if they're going for that option, it means it's going to be very aggressive, and it also means if they overcommit, if Tristana and Alistair overestimate their damage, jump in with that rocket jump and then don't kill somebody compliments of a summoner heal and Soraka's heals, it's going to cost them their lives. So very, very interesting, very, very aggressive champions all the way around. Aurelia Kennen as well is also going to be a very high kill threat lane. Compliments of the damage that they can put out. And the fact that Aurelia is just so unmovable in lane, when she gets those translucent blades or transcendent blades up, she gets so much hit points back from the creep waves. They did receive a small nerf about a month back. They increased the cooldown on the ability, but it's so difficult to get her out of a lane. And Aurelia becomes one of the most unkillable champions in the game. She's fallen out of favor though lately. Top lane has been taken over by several other champions, so it'll be quite good to see Aurelia in a game again and see how she fares against either Vladimir or Kennen. So that is the 3-minute countdown timer finally completed. So that's the game now loading up. And once again, we have to look at skins. Sorry, Kassadin has to win this one. The Festival Kassadin skin is just epic. I think it was the Olympics. What sporting event was it? Somebody in chat land, help me out. They released this Kassadin skin with all the flags for Chinese Olympics. I'm almost sure of that, but I might be a little bit wrong. Oh, Sabi does have the Count Vladimir Dracula skin of awesome epicness, though. And the Arctic Cannon Warfare and the Graves, the Outback Graves. He looks Australian. When I look at that, I see an Australian dude running around the Outback shooting kangaroos with his giant shotgun. And of course, we've also got the Pantheon skin, but he's a Spartan, so he's always going to look cool no matter what he's wearing. So, champions are almost loaded in. There we go. Jumped into the game screen. So, wearing the blue trunks is completely legendary EV, also known as Crew 2K. Wearing the purple trunks, we have no team play, also known as NTP. And, of course, third round, Go4LoL. Winner advances. Loser goes home and cries to their mommy. Loads of pings coming out from Crew 2K at the minute. All over the map. Every single entry has been pinged. And now some counter pings coming up from NTP. So we're going to have to see. It doesn't look like we've got any early aggression. Doesn't look like either team really wants to do an evade at this point. And thank you, SC2 Mong. If it is StarCraft 2 Mong, it was the Winter Olympics in Vancouver 2010. I knew it was Summer Olympics, but I was trying to do the math because I'm like, hang on. The Olympics is this year in London, which means it couldn't have been the Olympics because LoL wasn't around 4 years ago. But where is Kassadin? Look at this awesome Kassadin skin. He's facing the wrong direction, though, and I can't pan. But it's really, really cool. I am a fan. I like skins. And the Cannon one is even cooler. So, game has started. Completely passive. Everyone is just defending their jungle. The split from Crew 2K is really good. Every single champion is being used to cover every entry into their own jungle. Aurelia covering the blue buff entry. Oh, Spartan chilling in the grass. Alistair just chilling out in the open. No worries. And of course, Tristana down in the bottom tri-bush. Ooh, there's a nickname and a half. Toad sucht der Wüste. Toads sucht der Wüste. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to just stick to English. I don't speak other languages, so my bad for insulting you if you are German. Max Fidelity on Udia. He's taken his Phoenix stance, opting to start at the blue buff. That is standard. Udia really needs that blue buff at early levels. Great damage coming down. He saved his smite. Not having to use his smite on the blue buff means he's going to be able to pick up the red buff really quickly. I think he's taken an early point into turtle stance instead of bear. So he's immediately moved over. Oh, all right, sorry. I assumed when he left the river he was going for a gank. But instead he's coming to steal the red buff. And that is fantastic, fantastic play from Max Fidelity. So he's coming in to take that red buff away from Pantheon. Pantheon level 2 and with blue buff is now moving in. There's the stun from Aurelia. Going to be taken from a stun from Pantheon as well. Summoner heal blown already and Ghost. So both summoner spells used for one ability. His little shield bash. Aegis of Zonia. Zionia? I'm just going to go Zonia. Allowing him to jump forward. It stuns an enemy champion for a second. And it refreshes his passive of Aegis of Protection. And that passive blocks one auto attack. And it can be used. Oh, brilliant flash based on stun. Unfortunately, the flash from Kassadin meant the lightning shuriken did not land. With that lightning shuriken, maybe an electrical surge and ignite could have been enough for a kill, but sadly, it was not to be. And some great early ganks from both teams blowing summoner spells across the board. 500 gold advantage already in favor of FTP. And that's purely because of the farm. In the mid lane, Kennen is already 10 CS ahead. That's about 200 odd gold. Because that is, of course, because Kassadin is a melee champion. So he's going to be taking a lot of harass and a lot of damage from Kennen in these early levels. Until he gets a few levels in his Q, his null sphere, and maybe 1 or 2 levels on his force pulse. He's going to be taking, look at that damage, look at that pressure from Joe for the win. Silence comes out, prevents the lightning rush, and he does take a turret hit in return. Beautiful, beautiful play from Joe for the win. Lining up that lightning shuriken in between 2 minions. And he literally curved the bullet, as it were. Stabbed him in the face, used the electrical surge, and great, great, great play by Kennen. using the range to his advantage, using all of his abilities, consistently landing DPS. So not only does he now have the gold lead, he's 12 creep score ahead at the 4-minute mark. So if Cassidy doesn't come back to this and get some assistance from Pantheon, that mid lane is going to be a really big loss. Headbutt from Ivory pushes Lance Butters away. And this bottom lane, Graves has been playing really, really great. Great harassment, great pressure to Tristana. And it's not really affecting the farm. 5 creep difference, and that is with sort of 4 creeps sitting in the lane for Tristana. So she's only going to be a few behind. In top lane, Aurelia versus Vlad. It's an interesting one. I think it's probably going to end up being a bit of a passive lane, this one. Aurelia will be able to stun a Vladimir when she jumps forwards with that dash of hers, her Blade Surge. She'll be able to jump up, Blade Surge into somebody, and use her Equilibrium Strike. Vlad will be getting more HP. There it is for the stun. Land a couple of auto attacks. She'll be able to activate her hits in style. And once she's activated her hits in style, that'll give her some true damage on each auto attack. And give her some lifesteal back as well, but I don't think she's got enough damage to really kill a Vladimir. So back to the bottom lane. We've got max fidelity on Udia. He's sitting in the bottom lane, or he's sitting in this bottom grass. The enemy team does not know it. Ivory and Tristana and Alistair, no ward there, so they don't have vision, and there's no flash from Udia, so he's not going to be able to jump forward. Soraka threw out the silence. She used Infuse on Tristana. So that's an interesting one because I think it gave vision of Udia. On the mid lane now, once again, huge pressure coming out from Kennen. I love seeing that. I think an aggressive Kennen is really fun to watch and a lot quite difficult to play. There goes the Lightning Surge. Stun from Pantheon comes out. Ignite goes down with the Slicing Maelstrom. He's managed to pick up 1 kill. Stun onto Mendros, and the passive from Mendros saved his life. The passive from Mendros, the little text pop-up, it said blocked. It was an auto attack from Kennen that was charged from his electrical surge, so it would have stunned Pantheon if it had landed. The stun plus 1 more auto attack would have killed Pantheon. It's that simple. But Aegis of Protection comes up, blocks the auto attack, and it was not to be. So they do get a kill back. Really, really well played there by Kennen. Almost picking up a double kill from the gank. And yeah, an interesting point there that Aurelia is maxing her Blade Surge. She's probably going to be using it to farm. It's not really the preferred way to play because, of course, Blade Surge does have its cooldown reduced to 0 once you kill something with it. So you can just jump, farm. But, of course, it uses a lot of your mana, and the damage isn't all that great. Most players that play Aurelia do tend to max their hit in style first. Get that regen back, when you activate it, and of course increase the amount of true damage that it deals. At level 1, it gives 15 true damage per attack, and that scales really, really well. It's a nicely spotted Shadow Loom. I actually hadn't even noticed that when I clicked it the first time. So pull up the score graphs at the minute. Udia moving in, stealing the red buff once again from Pantheon. So this is great timing and great awareness from Udia, although he's going to end up being ganked here. Mendros is coming up, throwing that spear out. He's going to use his Aegis of Protection. He's going to be able to land a stun shortly. Slow comes up from Tristana. Brilliant pulverized headbutt. Knocks up both of the champions. Joe for the win, managing to use that electrical surge. That's going to get him at least to safety. Udia goes down. The red buff ends up going to Pantheon, I believe. That it did. So he managed to pick up the kill credit, get his buff back as well. And great awareness, great calling from Crew 2K. Brilliant buckshot comes out from Graves, hitting Tristana in the face. Pantheon's coming up now as well. He has red buff and blue buff. Summoner heal used, interestingly, by Tristana. She was low on life, but there wasn't a commitment. There was no fight going on, so maybe a little bit premature. Graves using collateral damage just to farm out the remainder of that wave. 74 CS on Graves to 45 CS on Tristana. And the gold lead is already 1,500 gold in favor of no team play. So the kills, while it's the first blood kills, and the superior farm is really starting to shine through. Top lane as well, Vladimir's out farming, 57 to 33 on Aurelia. Mid lane, 51 to 37. Cassidy has come back actually fairly well, especially considering he has 2 deaths to his name. So not too bad, only being 14 or 15 CS behind. But that's probably because Joe is really focusing on the harass. He's focusing on using his abilities to put as much pain onto Cassidy as he can. And obviously, picking up those kills, getting the champion low on levels, low on farm, is always going to play to your advantage. Pantheon's coming up in the top lane, and it looks as though Udia and Pantheon are just in sync with one another. Every time somebody's setting up for a gank or moving in for a gank, they always get in there, and there goes the stun. Aegis of Zonya jumps on. Hemoplague is sitting onto Pantheon with the Hemoplague proc. It picks up the final last hit. Irelia forced to blow a flash just to get away. Bestance comes up, and if Maxwell can get through the creeps, brilliant stun. Slicing Maelstrom comes up. Lightning Shuriken lands as well. Electrical Surge, and that's going to be a dead Irelia. Great play. Great focus and pressure from no team play at the minute. It was a little bit brave of Pantheon. He hasn't even hit 6 yet. Still on level 5. 3 levels behind Udia. Trying to pick a fight against the tanky man, Bear Pig. Just wasn't the best of decisions at that time. And of course, Irelia was a little bit far away, so maybe should have tried to move away, play a little bit safer. Going up in viewer numbers at the minute. What's up, guys? We're on round number 3 of Go4LoL. This is an all-German affair. 4-2 is the kills, and 3,300 gold advantage in favor of no team play. Buckshot just missing Tristana. No collateral damage though, so Graves probably wouldn't have been able to pick up a kill if he'd landed, 1 or 2 of those buckshot pellets. But just this pressure, triple Dorans and Berserker's Greaves really wanting to stamp some authority on this lane. Attack damage on Graves is sitting at 124 at the moment to the 106 of Tristana. And of course, all of that bonus attack damage, it increases his buckshot. Currently dealing 230 damage hit. Unlucky for Graves. Beautiful flash! Graves uses his quick draw, lands in the center of Pantheon's ultimate, but manages to get away from it with his quick draw. And a very aggressive headbutt pulverized combo from Alistar, followed up by the rocket jump from Tristana, means they do pick off Soraka. Some pressure in this top lane. There goes those blades I was talking about, transcendent blades. Deals pretty good damage as well, actually. Each blade lands for, call that 95 damage. 93 damage, whatever the math is. And it heals for a good chunk of that. And now Cassidy with blue buff, and he's built Merc Treads as well, so that's going to be mitigating some of the damage that Kennen's putting out, as well as reducing the duration of the stuns from Kennen. So it's very interesting. And by having the blue buff, he's just going to keep throwing out those null spheres, keep Kennen on the back foot, keep his HP a little bit lower. Udia's coming, going to try and 1v1 this Cassidy. Cassidy opting to move back. Hasn't even used his Rift Walk just yet. Applies a stun. 1 or 2 more auto attacks. And Udia going for your farm build. 4 points into Phoenix stance, 3 points into Turtle, and just a single point into Bear stance. And opting not to take any in Tiger just yet. Tiger is of course his main DPS ability in single targets, duels for example. And Phoenix has just got great AoE damage. Just making sure he can clear those farms even quicker. 77 CS to the 43 of Pantheon. So really significantly far ahead. And of course having kill and the advantage. Now in the middle lane, Kennen blows his ultimate. That was a slicing Maelstrom dive kill. All of his spells were used for that one probably. Sorry, I missed that one. Udia now setting up. Udia and I think it was Alistar with wards. No, it wasn't. It was a pink ward that was placed there. So they opted to remove that Tribush ward. And we've got a 3-man dragon at 13 minutes. It's around about the normal starting time for Drakes in this game. No vision for Crew 2K. It means they don't even react to this. They may not even know what's going on. Returning to the lane, and that's a really good move by no team play. Knowing they've got the advantage, knowing they've got the damage to take out that dragon pretty quickly. They do lose a turret for it though, so it's 1,000 gold for the dragon for the team. Oh, I'm lying. They pick up a turret as well. So Irelia, she fell back. She wasn't in lane, hasn't been in lane for a while. Really behind on creep score as well. 48 CS to the 100 of Vladimir. And now she's moving into this bottom lane. We've got brilliant pressure coming out. Huge damage has gone down onto Soraka. The explosive shot active was there as well. Aurelia's going to jump in, use that Blade Surge to jump onto Soraka. Opts to go for Graves instead. Uses her ultimate as well, starts tanking some of this damage and takes one turret hit, but she's got no items. She's building magic resist, and that's not going to be enough for a kill. The bear stun does land onto Kassadin, and a brilliant retreating lightning shuriken hits the stun, lands a stun onto Cass as well, but just under the tower, not really willing to risk it at that time. Yudia moving back towards red buff, looking for some wards. He's got his oracles up as well. Vladimir's now down the bottom lane, lands a transfusion. Headbutt comes back from Alistar. He's popped his unbreakable will. His ultimate is up now as well. And falling back. Wish has been used. No, yeah, Wish was used. So that's a bunch of hit points back for Graves and Vladimir. And just no real crowd control. No way to lock the champions down. So they just end up walking away for it. It's a little bit disappointing. And yeah, great comment there in chat once again. I think Shadow Loom, are you a Irelia player by any chance? But Irelia, she's not putting points into her unbreakable will. Into her hidden style. So that means she doesn't have any additional damage, and very interestingly, has put a second point into Equilibrium Strike, and now she's been caught out. There's a transfusion, uses her flash to get out of the way. But no buckshot from Graves, so nothing to come of that really. Now Aurelia's, she's falling even further behind. She's behind on levels, behind on farm, behind on items, and now hanging around here at half health. She's not even really in XP range for half of these creeps going down, and it's really not a... It's nothing that's going to help you. There's no advantage to being there. Fall back, get your hit points, and move back into a lane where you can actually get levels and farm. That's the important thing. Graves, 150 CS, 0-0-0 across the board, and with 2,700 gold, Buckshot lands into Pantheon. Great damage, but here comes Irelia from the back, manages to stun Vlad. Brilliant. Pulverize knocks up 3 champions from no team play. Tides of Blood plus Transfusion picks up another kill. Hemoplague drop from Vladimir. He runs back to mitigate the damage. And that was a 3 versus 4 that they not only give Vladimir a triple kill, they didn't even look at threat of going down. The focus was onto Vladimir, and Sabi playing brilliantly. Did not use that Sanguine Pool until he needed to. Didn't even drop it early, even saving the Hemoplague till, halfway through the fight. Not certain, are we going to stay in this, or are we going to commit? And with that kill and the assists, that should be enough gold for Graves to pick up an Infinity Edge. He has recalled, so we'll see what he's going to buy. Still sitting in spawn, getting his health back, deciding what he wants. And that's going to be the mid lane going down. So 3 turrets, a dragon, and a 6 kill advantage. And very interestingly, Graves opting to go for a Frozen Mallet. Now this is very new. You don't see this at all, really. Bear stance coming up from Yudia, trying to get in range. Just not enough speed boost on Yudia to get up there. 2 points into Bear. So it gives him a pretty decent chunk at this minute. 18% movement speed increase, or 6.5 seconds. And I think Graves is just using that slow just to try and use the passive on that. Keep players where he wants them. Use his kiting and his quick draw to move to safety as and where he needs to. Double Will of the Ancients already built. Vlad and Kennen both rocking the Woters. So that's going to make everyone more powerful. Pulverized Headbutt does land. Soraka's in range now. And all of a sudden, this changes the entire dynamic. There goes the smoke screen down. Collateral damage is available, but not going to be used. Graves moves just to the edge of the ultimate. Doesn't take much damage from Pantheon. Jumps onto Soraka. Stuns Soraka down. Infuse comes out. Silences Alistar. So one more Headbutt. Collateral damage finally used from Graves. Wish has been blown as well. Graves is now trying to pick his next target. He's put some great damage down onto Tristana. She's forced back. Uses her Buster Shot to get rid of Graves. Graves still alive, taking all of this damage. Finally going down. It took 4 champions to get involved. 4 champions to put enough damage down onto him. And Kassadin looking for a kill on Soraka, but doesn't have enough ability power at this stage. Still working towards his Rod of the Ages. Brilliant pulverize there from Alistar. That's going to be able to at least slow the process down. Kennen's coming in. Lightning Surge. Lightning Shuriken and Electrical Surge. 2 abilities and an auto attack. And that's 1 dead Alistar. He didn't even get a chance to use his ultimate. Because it had been used already. Ultimate was blown much earlier. So let's see what happens at the moment. Oh, scrolling to the left. Flashes popped, but didn't get in range of anybody. And look at the damage that's coming up. The Tides of Blood is hitting Tristana for around 200 damage. Transfusion, Chemo Plague, Tides of Blood dropped out as well. Stunned into the turret, so Vlad takes a few attacks. A few turret hits, but not enough to kill him. And they're going to take another turret out of this. No team play, not living up to their team name at all. They've got fantastic team play and fantastic coordination. 12,000 gold lead at the 19.5-minute mark. Truth be told, it's nearly impossible to come back from a deficit this high. Kenan not only has Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Mercury Treads and a Will of the Ancients, but he also has a double Giant's Belt, so he never wants to go down. Ghost blown by Vladimir. He still has Sanguine pull up if he really needed it to. While they running back into the jungle, Yudia's taking Dragon. Stun from not a Spartan, stun from huge damage going down. Slicing Maelstrom finally used by Kenan. It looks as though that was interrupted though, only lasted a couple of seconds. I don't know if it actually gets cancelled by a silence. And immediately, with just the presence of Vladimir, they turn that around. Kenan is now committing to a dive, using his Lightning Surge to move up, staying under the turret, taking so much damage. Bottom lane, Buster Shot forces Vladimir backwards. He uses his Sanguine Pool to escape. Kenan's still alive, even after all the turret damage. Summoner Heal being blown. Here comes the stun out from Vladimir. From Irelia onto Vlad. Still alive, takes one more turret hit. Kenan once again taking turret hits. One more turret hit, that's going to be enough to kill him. But he hadn't taken damage for a few seconds, and you don't get a kill credit for it. So after being caught out 1 versus 2, what looked like there was going to be a dead Kenan, turns into a 2 versus 4, which no team player win, then turns into a 4 versus 4, and they walk away with 3 kills and 0 deaths. Yes, Kenan did die, but it was to a turret, so it doesn't count. So really, really great play. The coordination and the control from no team play is just amazing. Farm, just look at the farm. I mean, 65, 62, 87, and 129. The only notable farmer for Crew 2K in comparison, 184, 164, 159, 141. Graves just stands there, steals the blue buff, completely runs away. Smite was available for Pantheon, and he didn't even use it. He must have been looking at the map or looking at the shops or something similar. And it looks as though the ELO rating difference is really showing through. No team players will be able to stamp home some more authority very, very shortly. Probably taking an inhibitor during the next few minutes. And more likely than not, push for Baron. Vlad and Kenan going for needlessly large rods. Chemo Plague goes down, instantly blows up Kassadin. 1 or 2 abilities in the Slicing Maelstrom is more than enough to kill him there. Next one down will be Alistair, actually picked up by Soraka. Support kill. Slows going down from Riley's Crystal Scepter. That's going to be enough to keep Tristana in place even after the rocket jump is used. A 4-man dive. They pick up 4 kills, and they completely obliterate the enemy team. My guess is that's a surrender vote. 22 minutes. No team play, completely destroying the Germans of Crew 2K. And the way that it works with regards to the question there, Martin Ugla? Martin Nugla. The reason that they played in their particular spot is it's based primarily on your ESL number. If you have a higher ESL seed, then you get the blue team spot. That's most likely the reason. So congratulations to no team play. Really fantastic team play, in fact. Really well played. Quite an unorthodox build as well. Double Giant's Belt on Kenan. Merc Treads. Frozen Mallets on Graves are very, very interesting. And it's mostly just to back up that aggressive play. Make sure they can survive as long as possible. So what I'm going to be doing, guys, I'm going to throw up some music in the background once more. This is, of course, Go4LoL, Cup number 87. We are into round 4 already, and I just need to find us a game. So bear with me while I arrange the next match. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the techno.